This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English. Episode number 111, baby. Oh yeah, all of the ones. 111. That's probably not very interesting, but I wanted to tell you anyway. In today's show, I speak to Boom Boom Cannon again. I'm happy about it this time though. I'm not going to say anything. And we speak about going back to school because that's kind of what I'm doing. Well, as a teacher, I'm not going back as a student. And lots of other stupid things. Remember, all of the vocabulary is on the website, rockandrollenglish.com. Go there, find it, use it, do your thing, baby. Anyway, here is the episode. Happy listening. Boom Boom Cannon. How are you today?
I'm good, Martin. How are you?
Always fantastic, Boom Boom. Always fantastic. You're back again, I see. But this time I'm not going to say anything negative. I'm so happy you're here, Boom Boom. You're like a safety blanket, okay? Just to sort of hold on to make me feel safe.
That's nice. Yeah, you can hold me whenever you like. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for that invitation. I look forward to taking you up on that. Oh, rock and roll vocabulary straight away. If you take someone up on something, you accept their invitation like this. I can touch any part of Boom Boom's body now.
Well, within reason.
I don't know what is arse in reason.
Arse is fine.
Arse is fine. Cock, maybe not.
Yeah, cock is out of bounds. Yeah.
Out of bounds, even more rock and roll vocabulary. Out of bounds is like off limits. You can't touch it. I was just about to say cock or penis is off bounds, but then I realised that's actually the same thing, isn't it?
That's, as far as I'm aware, that's unless you have something else going on down there.
I've got two penises, Cannon, okay?
One's a cock, one's a penis.
Exactly, okay. Anyway, that's enough of penises. I'm sure we'll probably talk about them later, but how do we normally start the show, Boom Boom?
With a review.
Oh, yeah, baby. We have a review from Jill Ram. It's a Facebook review. Also good reviews. It says, great podcasts, funny and entertaining. At the same time, you will learn English. Best concept to learn English. Thank you, Martin, for doing this. Thank you, Jill Ram, and thank you especially for not mentioning Boom Boom.
I think it was implied, the thank you to me. It does, it was there.
Was it? Was it implied? So implied is when something you don't say, but people understand. But I don't know if it was. No clarification Charlie mentioned, but that's understandable. She's missed the last 6 podcasts. At the moment, it's because she can only do evenings and I can't. But hopefully next week I can do evenings, even though it's great to have you, Boom Boom.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, she's on the bench now, I'd say, isn't she? I'm sort of in the first team.
But again, always football analogy. So remember, if you're on the bench, you're the substitute. And Boom Boom saying he's in the first team, he's playing. But this is the big one, Boom Boom. If you don't score a goal today, you're off.
Shit.
Okay?
I'm thinking I might carry on at this rate. I'll get promoted to presenter. And maybe next week I'll introduce you.
And I'll be on the bench.
Yeah. Me and Charlie take over.
Okay, well, that's, I think, enough football analogies for that. We could do this the whole podcast, but
yes.
Probably leave that. So, Boom Boom, I'm not going to ask you what the podcast's about because I know you don't know. But today, well, when people listen to this today, Monday is a big day for me. Do you know why?
I don't know.
I go back to work. Okay, so just the 3 months off. That's all.
That's not bad, is it? 3 months, yeah.
Exactly. I've had so long off work, I'm actually starting to think I really need to go back to work. It's just too much. You can only walk around in your underpants for so long, really, can't you?
Yeah, life of leisure is, At least you had underpants on, so that's good.
Always a bonus,
yeah.
Isn't it? Always a bonus when you're wearing pants.
You do often, when we do this podcast, you do often do it topless, so, but... You do have a T-shirt on today, which is nice.
Exactly. The temperature is going down a bit now here in Palermo, okay? So soon you might even see me with a jumper on, Boom Boom.
That would be nice.
Exactly. So we're talking about sort of going back to school, which, was a big day back in the day, wasn't it, Boom Boom? So back in the day, back in the great times, when we went back to school, for example.
Sure was. Yeah, back to school, kind of, new pencil case, new pair of shoes.
Exactly. This was the first thing on my list, actually. Like new bag, new pens, maybe a new watch.
Yeah. Oh.
You remember the one with the calculator on? Oh,
I do. That was big stuff, wasn't it?
oh, amazing. I don't remember ever using that calculator. I don't know if you used yours, Boom Boom. You probably didn't need to because you were so good at maths anyway.
Yeah, the calculator is up here, pointing to my brain. So
yeah. Remember, we are doing a podcast.
We are doing a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're pointing to your brain is sort of missed by everyone. I actually had one of those calculator watches recently, actually. Vintage kind of thing. And I loved it. But the problem was it broke very quickly. And I even carried on wearing it for quite a while just because I thought it looked so cool. But then it just got a bit embarrassing when people kept asking me, oh, what's the time? And I said, I don't know. And they said, well, you've got a watch on. Yeah, well, my watch doesn't work.
Looks cool, though. So
looks cool. Next question would often be, why are you wearing it? And again, my response would just be, looks cool. Okay, just cool. Fuck off and leave me alone. Okay. New gadgets as well. People would often have new gadgets, especially now when I go back to school. All of the kids have new phones. None of that in our day, though. Hey, Boom Boom.
No, the calculator watch was about as kind of advanced as gadgets got in those days.
Exactly. As good as it got. A nice term there, which is quite easy to understand, really. The biggest sort of technology thing in our day, Canon, was probably the floppy disk. Do you remember that?
I do indeed, yeah.
Just so everyone knows, the word floppy is... Well, I'll ask you, Boom Boom, what would you use the word floppy to describe usually?
If you say the word floppy, to me, I'm immediately thinking of a penis.
Exactly. So we are talking about penises again, as promised. This is why I find it such a strange name. Whoever gave the name must have thought the word floppy is always associated with a penis because you can have a hard penis and the opposite of that is floppy. Okay, so that's a great way to remember it. And the even more ridiculous thing is that it was called a 3.5-inch floppy disk. Okay, so inches is like a measurement, like centimeters. I think 2.5 centimeters is an inch. And again, if someone mentions inches, what do you think of, Boom Boom?
Immediately think of penises.
Exactly. I mean, I bought a TV recently, and I can't remember. It was like 40 inches. And so Mrs. Rock and Roll English said, oh, that's 40-inch TV. And I immediately had to say, the same size as my penis.
Good gag. Yeah.
Well, gag. That's a joke. Yeah, but if someone says if someone says inches, you think of penis. If someone says floppy, you think of penis. So whoever gave the name a 3.5-inch floppy disk, well, he must have been thinking, I'm thinking definitely of penises here.
And it's just a good, for like measuring things in inches. I think the penis is a good almost unit of measurement, isn't it? You think sort of, okay, 40-inch TV, you can sort of think, well, how many penises is that?
I think we had it before. I can't remember the average size of a penis, 6.5. So yeah, we're round about there, a 6-penis TV.
Yeah, exactly. About six penises. So yeah, that's a good size TV.
Yeah, I didn't ask that in the shop when I said, okay, so how big is it? And he said 40 inches. So I was like, okay, so is that what, 5 or 6 penises? Depends on the penis, really, doesn't it?
Depends on the penis. Yeah. In that sense, I suppose it is quite an unreliable sense of unit of measurement. But yeah.
Exactly. Right, I do think we need to change the subject now. We've definitely covered penises in this podcast, okay? Let's definitely move on now.
Sure.
So in Italy, I've only found this out recently, that the first day of school is apparently really important because they all have to sit in the same classroom, in the same place for all of school every day for the whole year. Mental, isn't it?
So wherever you sit on the first day... And
that's it.
Is that year. And is that random where you sit on the first day?
Well, this is it. So Mrs. Rock and Roll English has a younger sister in her last year of school who went back to school recently. And she said that she got there at 6 o'clock in the morning to wait outside the school gates for it to open so you can run in and get your place in the classroom.
Wow. Yeah. That's commitment to
exactly.
a seat. Yeah.
really committed. But they don't wear uniforms here. So obviously in England we wear school uniforms, and Boom Boom especially used to love wearing school uniform, especially his school shoes. Okay, so he obviously had particular shoes that you wore to school, but Boom Boom used to just wear them just on, you see him on a Saturday, he's got his shoes on, especially playing football you used to enjoy, didn't you, Boom Boom?
Right, I mean, this is, there's a lot of exaggeration going on here. I didn't love my school shoes. What happened when we had PE, so, physical education, sport, I think once, I forgot my football boots. And therefore, the only option they give you, bizarrely, is to wear your school shoes to play football in.
Nice term there, by the way, bizarrely, which means very strangely.
Yeah. So this happened, to my memory, once I wore school shoes.
Once is enough, Boom Boom. Once is enough for me to say it happens all the time, okay?
Yeah, and then over the years, this has developed into a story which I just only ever wore my school shoes for football, for school, for just going out to town.
Yeah. I think I remember staying at your house once. We were sleeping in bed and you had your school shoes on. That's how bad it got, Boom Boom.
Yeah.
Like, Boom Boom, take your school shoes off. You're like, no, I just love wearing my school shoes. So he was naked with just school shoes.
Yeah. If only I'd have known at the time that one morning when I forgot to pack my football boots would sort of haunt me for the rest of my life.
Well, exactly. Lovely term, though, there. Haunt me for the rest of my life. Like, stay with you and give you problems for all of your life. Another thing is the alarm, obviously, on the first day of school, Boom Boom. Like, not so much now for me, but when you were younger, you sort of go to bed really late, and then that one day when you have to get up early again, your alarm goes off and you think, fuck, what the fuck is that? Is there a fire? Is it the middle of the night? Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's just going back to school.
Yeah, not fun.
Exactly. Oh, what's your alarm technique these days, though, Boom Boom? Do you still just have it near your bed? Do you go for the snooze technique? So the snooze technique is when you click snooze and then it lets you sleep for 5 minutes and then it goes off again.
Yeah.
Then 5 minutes, then it goes off again.
Yeah, I do. Phone, alarm, snooze. I allow myself maybe a couple of snoozes.
Couple of snoozes.
Two snooze maximum. Yeah.
Mine is actually now putting it on the other side of the room, so I have to get up.
Oh, that's clever.
Which has actually really helped, because then it's just it's over, it's finished. You only have to wake up once. If you have to wake up 5 times, it's not the best. I have tried other techniques, though. I remember I downloaded an app where it gave you a mathematical problem that you had to solve before the alarm stopped. So it got your brain working. The point is, so obviously you wake up. The problem was the mathematical problems were really difficult. It was like 137 times 986 minus 445 divided by 3, for example. I remember actually once having to get up and find a calculator because I just couldn't work it out. So I couldn't work out this problem. I couldn't resolve it.
Yeah, see, I'm sort of imagining you still kind of sitting there at like 4:00 in the afternoon, just like, wish I could get this alarm to turn off.
Well, I think that was the only time I used a calculator on my calculator watch.
Yeah. Finally, it's come in handy.
Exactly. Well, luckily, it wasn't broken at the time. That would have been terrible. The alarm going off, I'd go to look for a calculator. There's one on the watch which doesn't work. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a clever one. That the maths problem. I might give that a try.
Yeah, I don't recommend it really.
Okay.
Although you just love doing any sort of studying. If it's just like wake up and study, yeah.
Yeah, to me that's just if I can sort of introduce another sort of exam or test into my day, then that sounds like a great way to start the day.
Oh, what a day! What a way to start the day by passing an exam. Having an exam and passing it. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Exactly. Although there was nothing better than, back in the day of thinking, oh, fuck, I have to go to school tomorrow. You wake up, you look at the time, and it's still only like 3:00 in the morning. And you think, oh, yes, 4 more hours, baby.
A bit more sleep. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So another thing you want to do on your first day back at school is to make a great first impression. It was always easy for Boom Boom with his youthful good looks. He made a solid impression, bit more difficult for
Thanks.
people like me. I make a bit more of a slow impression. It was very much like when we were at school. Boom Boom straight away. So remember, straight away means immediately. All the girls went for Boom Boom. Okay, he made that great first impression. I was just taking my time. Okay, I make a great impression after like 4 or 5 years. Okay, that's my technique.
That's a very slow impression, isn't it?
Well, it's slow, but the results are obvious. Boom Boom. Doesn't work for job interviews though. When you want to make an impression, just give me 4 or 5 years. Maybe if we can have this interview once a week, you will love me.
You get to know me over a very long period, then you'll give me the job, please.
Exactly. Another great thing at school was checking out new talent. So what do I mean by that, Boom Boom?
Well, I think you're referring to girls.
That's often what you can use to describe girls. I suppose boys as well. Was there any talent there?
I think you can. Depends what sort of talent you're after. Girls, boys, whatever tickles your fancy.
Oh, lovely rock and roll vocabulary there. Whatever tickles your fancy. Basically, whatever you like. I noticed you were listing there, Boom Boom. Boys, girls. Like, we're sort of finished there, really, though, aren't we?
Well, there's gender is a rainbow, isn't it? There are in betweens, in this day. In this day and age, we need to be aware of that, Martin.
Actually, that is a very good point. I'm very much stuck in the sort of like the 1900s, so I think it's a very good time to move on from this one, Boom Boom.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Good idea. So another one which applies to work as well, I suppose, for me, and going back to school, is to go with a positive mental attitude, okay? Especially with work, because I remember for a very long time, I had a very negative attitude to work. And I seem to remember you having the same thing, Boom Boom. I seem to remember both you and I talking about this. If anyone ever asked us, what do you do? So what job do you do? We considered that like a stupid question. It's like, why the fuck are you asking me what do I do? It's a very normal conversational question. Yet for us, for a long time, we were like, I met this guy the other day. He said to me, what do you do? What a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about work.
Exactly.
What a square.
Lovely rock and roll vocabulary. A square is someone that is not cool, okay? Obviously, me and Boom Boom are cool. So,
very. I
don't know. We're not squares. Circles doesn't really work.
No. Just more interesting shapes. Hexagon, octagon.
Very interesting shapes they are, okay?
That's. I was trying to think of shapes with as many sides as I could think of, and there's.
I think hexagon's the last one, 6. This is the great thing about having you on the podcast, Boom Boom. You always talk about these really interesting subjects like shapes. We were talking recently about a footballer that no one's ever heard of. It's just such great listening.
Yeah, I mean, dodecahedron. There you go. There's another shape.
Did you just Google that?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, that's off the top of the head.
He didn't Google that. Okay, well, we're sort of coming towards the end of this performance now, Boom Boom. When you were talking about earlier having a great performance and taking over the reins. So taking over the reins would be taking control of the podcast. It's not looking great, Boom Boom, okay? I'll be honest with you, okay? I'll be a manager. I'll talk to you straight. Okay, if I talk to you straight, I talk to you honestly. It's not looking good.
I think the listeners are going to think, I want to hear more shapes. I want someone just to list shape names, and I'm your man for that. So
okay, well, we look forward to that, Boom Boom, and he will do that when he's wearing his school shoes as well. That's a great thing.
Got them on now. So
he's just wearing shorts, t-shirt, and school shoes. Again, that is Boom Boom all over. Okay,
just love school, love studying.
He loves school and school shoes. Okay. Okay. Well, thanks a lot for your time, Boom Boom.
Cheers, Martin.
See you soon. Okay, so that was me speaking to Boom Boom Cannon about going back to school. So let's have a look at some of that rock and roll vocabulary, baby. Boom Boom said something like, I can touch him anywhere, I think. I can't remember why. And I said, I look forward to taking you up on that offer. So if you take someone up on the offer, you basically accept it. Maybe someone says to you, let's go out for a beer soon, but they don't really mean it. And then you say, okay, great. What about tomorrow? Then you're taking them up on the offer. And then when we were talking about touching him anywhere, he said the cock is out of bounds. So if something is out of bounds, it's forbidden. You can't do it. You can't touch it. Maybe at school, great example, when it's raining, you can't play on the grass. And the teachers say, the grass is out of bounds. Okay, it's forbidden. You can't touch it. And then when we read the review, I said that there was no thank you for Boom Boom. And he said the thank you was implied. So if something is implied, it's understood, but you don't need to say it. If you come to my house, for example, with a dog, and you say, is it okay to bring dogs to your house? I'll probably say, but you can probably understand from that it's not okay. So my response of no is implied, okay? I don't say it directly. You need to understand it from what I say. We were speaking about technology, and we said calculator watches were as good as it got. A lovely term there. It just means it was the best, as good as it got. That's obviously for the past. Maybe for the present, you could say iPhone watches or iWatches, whatever they're called, are as good as it gets, because that's the present. When I was telling Boom Boom about the joke I made with the TV, he said, oh, that's a good gag. So a gag is a joke. Very simple, that one. Then Boom Boom was telling us about the story of him wearing school shoes, and he said, bizarrely, the only choice was that you could wear school shoes. So bizarrely means very strangely. Quite simple, really. Talking about the same story, he then said, oh, if only I'd known when I forgot to pack my football boots, it'd haunt me for the rest of my life. So if something haunts you for the rest of your life, it's, let's say, a problem for the rest of your life. Maybe if you miss a penalty in an important football match, and you think about it every day, that haunts you for the rest of your life. Notice there was some rock and roll grammar as well when Boom Boom said, if only I had known. Okay? That's like a past wish. If only I had known. Maybe you didn't hear that. If only I had known. Anyway, that's enough for the grammar. Let's move on to some more rock and roll vocabulary. We had the word snooze. So a snooze is a little sleep, but we have that special thing of the alarm when you click snooze and then you sleep for like 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, I don't know. I was then talking about my technique in the past for waking up of trying to resolve these mathematical equations. And I said I couldn't work it out. So the term or the phrasal verb work something out is especially used in this context for resolving mathematical equations like this. If I say to you, what's 528 times 342? You will probably say, give me a second to work it out. Give me a second to resolve it. We were then talking about the word talent, and I said that can be used for girls and boys. And Boom Boom said, yeah, sure, girls, boys, whatever tickles your fancy. So that means whatever you prefer. A very slang way to talk, but a very funny way. It's not offensive, it's extremely funny, extremely nice. That's the colourful language that we need to move our English to the next level. Boom Boom also used the term, what a square. So if someone is a square, they are not cool. And then we started talking about shapes, and that was a bit embarrassing. And I said to Boom Boom, look, you were talking about taking over the reins. So taking over the reins is taking control of the podcast. And I said, look, I will talk to you straight. So I will tell you the truth. It's not going to happen, baby. Anyway, that's all of the rock and roll vocabulary for today. Remember to find it on the website. I will see you again next week. In the meantime, though, people, just keep on rocking.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.